Oh, hey there. Just watching a little pro wrestling on the old iPhone here to recharge the brain. You know how it goes. I mean, you're familiar with it, right? The intense physical grappling drama performance art in which two athletic performers work together to create an entertaining spectacle of fictitious combat. Professional wrestling emerged out of legitimate 19th century British catch wrestling traditions. So-called Lancashire wrestling was sort of a forefather to modern MMA, but it suffered from two key faults. Number one, the grapple and stretch fest could last for hours. Sometimes they had to break for the evening and pick back up the next day. In other words, such bloated matches often proved tedious and boring. And number two, even with a system of rules in place, it could prove pretty barbaric. Critics of the day compared it to French dogfighting. Not only could a match last forever, it could also severely injure your key athletes. Plus, here's another fact about legitimate combat sports. Sometimes the wrong guy wins. The best fighter doesn't always have the charisma and marketability to match. So in the words of economist and mathematician Eric Weinstein, promoters began to engage in, quote, an altered reality of layered falsehoods. They realized that a dash of fiction and a dash of pre-planned predictability made the product more entertaining and more profitable. In other words, you start fixing matches, you start involving more cooperation on the part of the combatants to ensure entertaining spectacle. You add more showmanship to the thing, more circus, but you certainly don't let the marks, the fans, in on the trick. And that's where kayfabe enters the picture, the traditional carny code of pro wrestling. In short, you can boil it all down to don't tell the fans how the magic trick works. But of course the fans figured it out over the decades to follow anyway. The product moved away from pseudo-sport and into a realm all its own. Now, deluded critics might call all of this fake, but what does that make the circus? Or what does it make a sword fight in a production of Hamlet? We live in a post-kayfabe world, but audience members and viewers still engage in a willing suspension of disbelief when they watch two wrestlers perform their match. And in this, Eric Weinstein believes kayfabe becomes a perfect model for so much in our modern world, a, quote, complete example of the general process by which a wide class of important endeavors transition from failed reality, such as long, boring, dangerous matches, to successful fakery, like an internationally successful performance art. Weinstein contends that this K-fabrication is a key feature of many essential human institutions that don't involve tights and arm drags. We're talking finance, love, politics, science, and war. When faced with an unsustainable, lackluster, or even unthinkable reality, we readily layer on the necessary fiction, drama, and semantics to keep us engaged and happy. So there's no pure information at all. There's only kayfabe. So do you recognize kayfabe at work in the world around you? Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. And hey, be sure to hit that subscribe button so we can keep these videos coming at you. Now, if you'll forgive me, I have to catch up on this match.